Okay, you guys, you've just jumped down, basically swam down to this third level down here. It's just the same as before, except the floor is covered in a thick layer of grime and mud instead of actual sand as the previous floors. It is still just as dark and just as flooded, but this area seems even more jagged and overput than the rest of the place. No more squareness, the rooms do not align, but it actively feels colder down here is the only other notable thing you can take off right now.
Okay.
As the beat knight kind of clunkily lands right behind you, he points you off kind of just in this direction, claiming that the bubble man would be over this way. But it is up to you guys wherever you'd like to go.
I just stare at the beat knight. I don't trust him. He's taking away all my glory.
You're also the one who keeps missing, so I suggest that we go in the opposite direction to explore as much of this floor as possible before we go to our objective. So I suggest south.
Sure, why not?
This area will open up to another beginning of another hallway.
I continue down the hallway with my little light arrow.
Alright, the room naturally starts to descend downwards as you begin to notice a small pool of air is trapped at the top, as if you could actively go up and get a few gulps of air if need be. You start to notice, kind of unnaturally, the floor towards the right over here, just about starting here, starts to unnaturally slope downwards in a very smooth fashion, like it's a built-in ramp in the floor. But unfortunately, that's about all you can tell, just because of the mud on the floor. It just kind of naturally smooths out. And Ophelia, you notice two reflective dots right here shimmer in your dark vision.
I would like to swim over and investigate.
You can take another step if you want. Alright, that close. It is a fishman, another Lokatha, a tribal fishman, who is wavering coin in the darkness in front of you as if tempting you.
You just walked headfirst into a trap. Congratulations.
This fishman will waste no time as he pulls out a rusted dagger and attempt to stab you.
I would like to try and dodge that.
Well, he rolls a 13. Does that hit?
No.
Then no need to dodge.
I am going to try to strike him with my sword.
Okay. What kind of sword do you have? I forgot to ask.
I have a long sword.
Long sword. I would technically constitute that as heavy damage.
Agreed.
Alright, so first roll a d20 for me. You miss. Do not hit his AC. This Logatha has dropped his coin and is now prepared for a fight. The Beat Knight will look to you, Elric, and gesture as if, do you want to go first?
I just sigh as I have no choice, so I will approach. Wait right there. Not much I can do at that range, so I'm gonna stay my turn.
Alright, the Beat Knight has caught on to what Ophelia is trying to do, and the Beat Knight will stand just behind and gesture forward like, please go ahead, like he did before.
Wait, so it's my turn again?
Yes. Or the fishman.
Oh.
Technically it's Fishman. He rolls a meager 3.
That does not come anywhere close to me.
He's not prepared for your preparedness.
I want to try and, like, pierce, like, no, actually I want to decapitate him. I want to see if I can decapitate him.
With your sword, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Okay. Still heavy damage. Roll d20. No, this tribal fishman is Dodgems. He is prepared for you. He is ready to fight. He thinks you are now a challenge. Elric.
I'm going to approach for closer range, ready my claws, and do a light attack against him.
Okay. d20.
With a 19.
Perfect. 2d4.
3 and 4 is 7.
35 damage. This fishman is shredded and instantly fish meat. Does not take much. This fishman is down and sinks into the mud.
I just throw my hands up and walk away.
I collect the coin he had.
The fishman, you collected the one coin he dropped on the ground that was wavering in front of him. But he also had, give me 1 second. Now that everyone can kind of take a look around, there was actually a pile of candles, ornate candles that have been unburned, just kind of lying in the mud in the room. But he actively had 50 gold pieces on him.
Oh, good. I'll collect that too. Since Ophelia has walked away and neglected to search for treasure.
The Beat Knight will look around the corner here to discover that this is going to be a wraparound.
Is there anything special about the candles?
They appear to be scented, as far as you can tell, but they're just unburned, unused candles.
I'll pick up some. You never know when ornate candles might come in handy.
The Beat Knight will actively question, why don't we go ahead and check out the Bubble Man? If someone's been trapped down here for who knows how long, wouldn't that be somewhat urgent? He sounds with actual sincerity in his voice.
Well, since you put it that way, I guess we could.
He looks to Ophelia.
I say with utter disdain at the thought of meeting another person.
And he looks towards Ophelia for her response.
Sure.
fairly dejected that she can't kill anything.
Pretty much.
The Beat Knight will start heading back this way. The Beat Knight informs you that the road will fork ahead, basically straight and towards the right. Unfortunately, straight, he says, poses more of a hazard, as he takes the lead and takes about 5 more steps, and his armor starts clinging, like if you imagine someone in the rain or a hailstorm. And he holds a hand for you guys to stand back, as he kind of just walks in a circle right here, and his armor is just clinking to pieces. He holds up a hand and asks you if you can hear it.
Can we hear it?
Roll perception.
I want to roll. I mean,
Now that you ask.
so should we roll it? I mean,
Yes, both of you roll perception for me if you would, just to see if you know what it is.
12.
12 will work.
And I got a 13.
13 will work. You obviously hear this clinking sound, but now that you guys have stood back and actively looked about to notice, this area, I'm going to give you a little bit more view as both of you can kind of see a little more, opens up into somewhat more of a room. But this area that the Beat Knight is walking about is floating. Everywhere in this area is bits of glass gently bouncing off his armor as he walks amidst this storm of glass.
How wide is the area that this glass is floating in? I mean, can we walk around it, or?
He tells you this is about half the room here. The entire room is filled with glass, and unless you were to, so to say, walk, you may get hurt, he suggests. The Beat Knight says the path towards the right loops around and does not have all this glass. But if one were to walk, it would be a quicker route.
Well, I'd rather avoid the pain as much as possible, so I would suggest going the other way. However, Ophelia, on the other hand, is a thick-skinned dragon, so glass may not necessarily affect her.
No, but it is rather uncomfortable.
So then we should go around.
Alright, the Beat Knight will gesture this way.
Like over there, or is it on the other side of the rock?
It'll be... excuse me. Going this way.
Okay, so we actually need to be further down here, on the other side of the rock. Technically, we've gone around the rock.
This room, there are no air pockets, but more noticeably, a large, very worn tapestry, like a giant rug of some sorts, is kind of crumpled up amongst the mud. As far as you can tell from right now, and more notably, both of you can distinctly hear, faintly, screaming. Ever so faint screaming. Kind of like in the back of your mind, you think it's someone screaming, but you're not quite sure, as it's just too soft.
Question, do we actually hear it, or do we hear it in the back of our mind?
Do you guys want to roll? What do you want to roll to check? That wouldn't be perception. Do you want to see if it's like a magic check? What would you pose that as? Or do you just want to go ahead and do straight up perception, I guess?
I think it would probably be a perception first to see where It's actually...
Yeah, go ahead. Just both of you roll standard perception. Just see what we get.
I don't know anything.
I got a 14.
All right, Ophelia, you think your ears ringing right now. Elric, you know that this is coming from something. It's not just an illusory trick. Whatever it is probably in the local area, like in this room, you would guess.
Okay. Because I know illusions.
The Beat Knight will advance a little bit, and I'll go ahead and light the rest of this room. A large dead tree also grows out of the north side of the wall here. This one is not petrified, but it is well dead. The Beat Knight will stand this far away from the tapestry and look in its direction. Pose a hand along the bottom of his helmet line, and as if pondering it over, as another jettison of bubbles erupts from his helmet.
I would like to kind of approach between Ophelia and the Beat Knight and look at the tapestry myself.
This tapestry is very old, very worn, and kind of just within the mud. Beat Knight will turn back to his heading and waltz to the other side of the room.
We should follow the Beat Knight then.
I follow. Do you follow?
Yes.
This area seems like it will open up. Even from here, I'm not even going to have you guys roll. You can hear someone struggling. It's a voice feminine in nature, struggling heavily with something. In a somewhat angered state, but somewhat panicked as well up ahead. You see the Beat Knight ready, a hand on his sword as he quickens his pace to kind of half charge around the corner.
What if it's that elf lady? I run after him.
Ophelia, you actively see him ready that little amulet he had. The friend or foe amulet.
Okay, I back off
his,
and let him be.
In his other hand. Are you guys right behind him?
I am.
I'm gonna hug this wall.
Alright, the Beat Knight will get right about here and stop. From what you can see, there is, in fact, another competitor, the Tiefling Lady, who was up on the platform with you guys, and she is absolutely swarmed with squid. She is in a panicked fury, wielding knives as these squid are literally swarming her like a mad school of fish. And she is trying her best to slice and dice these things, and they are viciously trying to nip and attack at her. She is in a bad way right now. The Beat Knight is actually kind of in a frozen-ish stance, kind of taking in the situation like, I don't know how to deal with this.
I do. I want to try and cast an illusion.
Okay, what would you like?
I want to try and let's see. I've got prestidigitation. No, I can't use that. Ghost sound. Maybe that'll work. I want to try and ghost sound whale noises, because whales are the natural predator to squid.
Okay, if you just want to go ahead and do a straight up D20 just for effectiveness, I can let you do that.
How about a natural 20?
Natural 20. Yes. This was the best whale impression you have ever known. You don't even know if you knew what a whale sounded like, but you did this so perfect. Even the Beat Knight actively looked around as if there were a monster heading the way. All of these squid immediately vacate into the area into cracks and crevices into the walls and disappear just as quick as they were swarming this lady. She kind of drops to her knees, looking very less than healthy. Kind of wavers an appreciation wave in your direction.
I just
As
wave
a
back.
scum also scurries from around the corner away.
Did you just say scum?
Yes, he did.
The Beat Knight will advance towards this lady and ask if she is alright, if she needs assistance. She will wave a hand as if, I'm okay, I'm okay.
I walk over.
And I keep to the walls in the back. You're right there.
I introduce myself. Hello, I'm Ophelia.
This tiefling will wave at you and then with her other hand point at her neck and mouth words. Shake her head.
I take off my amulet and throw it.
I was gonna give her mine because everyone can hear me because I'm a water dragon.
Well.
Pick up his amulet and give it back to him, and then hand her mine. Everyone can understand me anyways because I'm a water dragon.
With this, essentially both of you almost trying to hand over your amulets, even the Beat Knight's helmet kind of quickly blinks a little bit of red from within his slits as the amulets kind of blink together and coordinate, and you can now hear this tiefling. She expresses her thanks as she now realizes she was able to somehow communicate with you guys. She says that it was probably not the best to bring a lot of food with her. She says that's what sparked the squids.
Can't blame one for being hungry. I'm always hungry, so I can't really talk.
She actively agrees.
Ask that little guy. I kind of tackled him thinking he was food. I pointed at Ulrich.
She appreciates your thanks, your assistance. She cannot thank you enough. But she suggests that unfortunately she's still on a time limit and she's got to get back to her looting. But she notes if she sees you again, she'll be obviously inclined to help. She introduces herself as Shang. She will get right about here, and you guys notice that she literally pulls up from the mud a glowing book of some kind, a large glowing book. She kind of forces it in a large pouch that obviously it will not fit into. As she continues onwards into the darkness.
Okay.
Alright, which way to your bubble man? I look at the Beat Knight.
He tells you he is straight ahead up to the north.
I head off in that direction.
Stay right there. Ophelia, you notice another tapestry kind of amidst the walls. It does not look the same as the rug, but it is certainly worn and aged as well as the rest of the place. This area right here also has a little bit of air trapped in the ceiling. But the tapestry looks more recent. It has more figures on it. You believe you could actually kind of read-ish this one. Beat Knight will get up close and give it a look over.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll try to read it.
Roll perception for me. 6 is just a little too low.
Do you want to try a physical die?
Yes, I'll try a physical die.
Well, that's rolling better already, so.
I'm just gonna use Daniel's dice. Does this one like me?
Do you want to re-roll?
Please.
Go ahead.
16.
Perfect. This tapestry very clearly shows out some sort of god of ice. And kind of like it's just straight up lore on the god of ice, but does not go into much detail.
Is it a story?
As far as you can tell, it looks to be just common knowledge, like common information about the god of ice. Something you would expect to see in a place of worship.
I want to roll it up and take it.
It's kind of amidst growing into the wall of everything. Roll me. This will sound odd, but I'm gonna need something like an acrobatics. Roll me dex to see how carefully you get this off the wall.
That's +0, so this shouldn't go badly. 18.
Alright, you managed to get this thing off the wall without ripping it in the slightest. It's got a little bit of barnacles kind of growing on the sides, but you can get it off, for sure.
To the right buyer, that should be very worthwhile.
Ophelia, you are closest, so you roll me a perception while they're trying to get the tapestry off the wall.
16.
Alright, you can hear further down the line struggle of two things. The only thing you can really make out is you're going to guess it is a creature of some kind.
I ignore those two and start heading off in that direction.
The hallway opens up and you can see two creatures in an active struggle, like hand-to-hand combat. A man in a black cloak and a sanguine fishman.
Do I recognize the man in the black coat?
You do in fact recognize him, but only as you saw him at the beginning. He is one of these other competitors. He's kind of shiftily looked up and down Elric, and that's about all you guys saw of him.
I would like to move towards the wall.
The Beat Knight will join up, and now noticing we have this. Elric, as you're kind of just lining the wall, you also notice Fishman and Shifty Guy.
Can I take out my bow and arrow and try and shoot the fish guy?
Remember, you're underwater.
Certainly. Give me one moment. The Beat Knight will get right about here and quickly grab basically the back of your collars and kind of yank you to stop you guys. He seems shaken. He says, he tells you, just let's see how this plays out.
Alright, fine.
And
I put my stuff away.
You guys watch in an interesting display as this Shifty Guy breaks the lock with this sanguine and uses one of his arms coated in metal and straight up sucker punches this fishman in the face. And the fishman practically evaporates to dust.
That's not frightening in the least.
More noticeably, now that you can focus, he has a big bubble, like cartoon. He has a large bubble surrounding his head. He clanks his hands together as if dusting off his hands, and now spins around and sees all three of you. He cracks his neck from side to side and looks straight at the Beat Knight. The Beat Knight will actively chime up. What are you doing here, Thaddeus? You don't belong here. The figure will look back. Oh, I was not aware we were on first name